Like, people knew that I was obsessed with buttons. I had my own little button collection, and I just love buttons. And so being able to actually find out that you could make them was amazing. I made my very first button when I was 8 at the Boys and Girls Club on Summer Street. I was like, oh my goodness, you can make buttons? And from that, it was like that was a game changer for me. I've always loved art. My favorite thing about the Boys and Girls Club was the art room. There was always this element of exploration. I learned how to paint in the art room. I learned how to work with clay in the art room. There was always coloring activities. There's always something just fun and interesting. And I mean, it's also where I learned how to make buttons. So there was something magical about that space. I just really gravitated to it. It's really hard to describe, kind of like what home life was. Like, it was very chaotic. We lived in and out of shelters. Like at home, it was told, don't make a mess, or, you can't do this, or it's too loud, or it's this or it's that. There's always something going on that would stop that creative flow. But when I would go to the Boys and Girls Club, I knew that at the moment that art room opened, it was fair game until it closed. And that's exactly where you would find me. It was just everything to me. The Boys and Girls Club was the brightest spot for me. When we moved, I didn't have access to the Boys and Girls Club anymore. And so the year that I left the club is the year that I started actively seeking alcohol on my own. That was kind of where my drinking journey started. I don't think that it's a coincidence that the removal of the brightest spot in my life made room for things that weren't so bright. Sitting at almost 13 years sober and always working on myself, always in therapy, always trying to grow and change and learn, I've dedicated my whole life to being a safe space to help people produce their own magic and put it out there into the world. Like, I don't believe in bad kids at all, I think that the difference between a child growing into a world that was dictated for them by birth and a world where they can flourish is really just a few caring adults. Sometimes it's just enough to plant a seed, and that's definitely what I had with the Boys and Girls Club. Freedom, creativity, Becka Makes Buttons it's everything to me. To me, buttons are now my anti-drug. Like, buttons showed me that I was actually capable of doing something that was good and beautiful and fun. Every single interest I've ever had that has been impactful to me and that is still an art medium that I partake in or am interested in is all stuff that I learned at the Boys and Girls Club. I don't think I would be here. I know I wouldn't be here the way that I am, showing up the way that I do if it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club. For me, the Boys and Girls Club is a beacon of hope. Like when it says great lives start here, great futures start here, great careers start here, like, I believe it and it's impactful. I don't believe Becka Makes Buttons would exist without the Boys and Girls Club. I don't believe that my life would be what it is if it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club. Like, I feel it's safe to say it was like the only outlet I had. It was the healthiest, safest outlet of my childhood. And I really feel that it implanted seeds within me that helped to grow into the woman that I am today. I know that I beat all the statistics. Like, I wasn't a teen mom, I wasn't dead under a bridge. A lot of people expected me to be. And when I look back, like, there's key people who came from outside of the home that understood that things weren't great. That told me I was. And I think it's important because you never know. You never know what someone is actually capable of until you give them a chance to show you. So now I'm finally at a place where I get to show myself. To me, it's a huge honor to be a success story. I don't take it lightly. I'm really grateful.